I think it was 2012. There was the shooting at the Eaton Center, and there was a young man that had shot at and shot people, and it devastated our community, you know. And I always say that there's two Torontos. There's the Toronto that we know about, and there's a Toronto where it's people who are on the margins who live a different life. I remember days after that shooting, I went to give talks at different middle schools and elementary schools, and that violence reverberated through those conversations. The first one I had was at a high school in a area in the city that's struggling. This young man who had shot up the shopping mall was a student there once upon a time. So I went to this school to give a talk. I remember walking through the same hallways that this young man probably walked, same lockers, same classrooms, etc. And I sat down with a group of grade 7 boys. That conversation came up. It was the elephant in the room. So sure enough, it came up that there was a former student that used to go here that committed this crime. There was a young man in the group that was very disconnected. This is just like, I'm too cool for this conversation, etc. As we started talking about this, he found his voice and he started to talk up a bit and talk about the code of the streets and what respect looks like, what it means to be respected. And respect is like, if someone steps on your shoes, you gotta take them down because they've disrespected you. And it turns out that this young man was a friend of the person who had committed the act. It started out where his respect in the room was because he was friends with this person. But by finding his voice and then articulating lived experiences and realities in the neighborhood, his respect was because he was able to talk about these things and articulate them, you know. So he became someone not because he knew someone, but because he was someone. The reality is that there's a storm of emotion brewing under the chests of young people that if we find spaces where they can open up and share, that can be a breakthrough, a powerful breakthrough for learning, for them connecting, and for them being part of the larger discourses.